Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. This is Simon with AvaTrade. Welcome to our webinar, Inside Circle Interactive Trading Conversations. As I see more people trying to come in, so we're going to give it maybe another minute or so. Meanwhile, as usual, I would like to get some help from you just to confirm that you could hear me. Please type OK into the questions window. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. And thank you, Beata. And please also confirm that you have the visual, that you could see the presentation here with AvaTrade logo on it. Just type C, S-E-E, so I know that the visual is also okay, and then we'll start in a moment. Great, thank you very much. So we have it confirmed. Okay, let's start. Whoever's joining us on the way, that's fine. Again, welcome everyone. We're starting our webinar. My name is Simon. And welcome everyone, especially new people. I see some new people here as well. My name is Simon Friedman. Just a short introduction. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. Overall, my trading experience is 24 years now. I started in June of 2000 as a prop trader in New York City. And I've done that for about 11 years, and then I moved into, as I like to call it, less stressful environment. Continued trading and started to mentor and educate others after that. And currently, I'm very happy to have this opportunity to serve and assist our customers at AvaTrade. The agenda of the webinar is pretty much the same. Excuse me. We ask questions. We discuss things. We analyze it by looking at the charts. We have up to an hour, and sometimes I do have to beg for questions. I hope it doesn't happen today. We have up to an hour, and please feel free to ask the questions the same way you confirmed here that you could hear me and see the presentation. Just type your question. I'm going to read each question, and then we'll discuss together, okay? Risk warning, you can find a full statement at avatrade.com. And of course, everything we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Social media, I highly recommend for you to subscribe. You have Telegram, you have X, which used to be Twitter, and YouTube, as I like to say, it's my favorite. You have a lot of information there, a lot of tutorials, educational material. And the webinars, if you ever miss the webinar or you think you will miss the webinar, don't stress. They're being recorded, including this webinar. It's being posted on YouTube. And that's why I really ask for people to participate and ask as many questions as possible, because we have a big audience of people watching this later on YouTube. And obviously, they cannot ask the questions. They just watch the recording. So every question we have here, it will help them to get some practical information. Okay, so again, just to explain, it's very simple. You're interested in trading or you are trading, you have specific questions about specific assets. For instance, somebody wants to know what's happening with gold, what's happening with crude oil, what's happening with the euro dollar, any other currencies, specific company shares, and so on. Okay, so again, we have up to an hour. I see more people coming in. Please, my dream is that we'll do the full hour and we're going to have questions unanswered, as opposed to me begging for questions, which happens sometimes. Okay, first question. Eric is asking, why is crude rising slowly even though China demand not very strong yet? Great question, Eric. Crude oil is rising, and it's currently about 80. I think we hit briefly 81 today. Let me just bring it really quick. Here we go. So we did have a sell-off from the 80 level, as you could see here. It's a serious level, and then we came all the way down to 72.46. And that was June 4th. And since then, we've been climbing. Now, you're absolutely right. China is not doing that great. This is China. China has been selling since peaking on May 20th. Okay. and crude oil is moving higher. So we just took a look at technicals. Fundamentally, oil has, like any market, has two sides. One is the supply, and one is the demand. So you're mentioning China is definitely demand, and if you're judging by situation in China, economic situation lately is not so great. So logical conclusion comes that oil should be going down, and it has been, right? And in the past few weeks or 2 weeks plus, we've been going higher. The equity markets made all-time highs. Besides the Dow Jones, Nasdaq made all-time highs. S&P's all-time highs. They keep on making record highs. So it looks like the market looks strong, and that brings the logical conclusion that maybe the global demand will be growing. That's number one. Number two, just my logical explanation. There's a lot of chaos in the Middle East, and of course, we're not talking about 60s, 80s, and 90s when Middle East was, if not the only source, but the main source of oil. And every time there was a war in the Middle East or any issues and chaos in the area, the oil would be jumping like crazy. This time it didn't happen because besides the Middle East, we have a lot of producers, including US, Canada, and other countries. So we did have a move up, and then we cooled down. So as you know, it's been a lot of issues, a lot of chaos happening in the Middle East with the war in Gaza, and also with the Lebanon. There's constant issues there. So maybe also that injects a little bit of fear of supply. Number one. Number two, I think the latest meeting of OPEC Plus, they said that they will keep the cuts in production into the end of next year as well. So all those things together probably causing a little bit of uncertainty on supply, and maybe a little bit of excitement on demand due to the global markets going high, especially the US. So I think I would explain it that way. Great question. Thank you, Eric. Okay, Beata is asking question. News with British Bank of England, what impact we can expect? Great question. We just had the CPI number this morning at 6 a.m. GMT, I think. And the inflation is getting better. I think we hit the 2% on certain aspects there. So there is an expectation that it will be the rate cut for the Bank of England, the first one. As you know, they also, Swiss National Bank, they're also making that decision, and that's tomorrow, both of them. So as you know, the Swiss Bank, the first one, the last time they actually cut the rates, and the rest of the central banks, they haven't done it yet. So there's a strong expectation that UK Bank or Bank of England might be cutting the rates this time, which is tomorrow. So impact. Nobody could know the impact, but logically speaking, we could see the weakness of pound if the interest rate is cut, right? As you could see here, the pound is actually in green today after the CPI numbers, but we've been selling since the 128 right here. And that would be a positive thing to the UK FTSE index, which is UK 100 here, and it's already moving higher, right? As you could see here, by holding support around 81.40, 81.50. It's the second day that we're moving higher. Of course, the US market is closed today for the national holiday, so I guess tomorrow we have a full-scale trading. But just to summarize in one sentence, if we do have the rate cut, which is totally possible tomorrow, potentially we could see a move of the FTSE to the upside. It's already reacting to it, and the pound could be selling. So those are the two key effects that we could see. Right. You're welcome, Eric. Okay, guys, we have more people coming in. and I don't see the questions piling up. So please feel free. Don't feel shy. Take the responsibility and the opportunity also to ask questions. And as I said, it's not just for you. It's first of all for audience here, which we are live here in this webinar, and also very important for the people that will be watching it on YouTube, as they have no ability to ask questions. So we are helping them by asking questions here. And okay, so again, just for people that just joined us, we ask questions about specific markets, like Eric asked about oil. Beat asked in general about the decision of Bank of England. You can ask about any assets that is tradable on AvaTrade, and then we'll discuss it technically. And as I always say, if I do know any fundamental details, I'll be happy to share with you as well. Okay, right, guys. Let's get a little bit more active, because it's important to mention. I don't like faking things, so I'm not gonna just say that Mr. Joe Smith asked the question and I'm just gonna pretend that somebody did. Okay, that's not professional, and I'm not gonna do that. That's why I need your help to ask these questions so we can keep on going. If we do run out of questions, we're gonna close the webinar and call it a day. Okay, so please feel free. All you have to do, just think of the question, type it into the questions window. I'm going to read it and then we'll discuss it. Okay. All right. I'll give it a minute. So I'll let you become a little bit more active and write your questions. Okay. Okay. Eric, thank you. It's a holiday. It's Juneteenth. I think it's a recent holiday. It was created by the U.S. administration, and it's something to give respect to the slavery people that were affected in slavery, and African Americans and other things. So they made it as a national holiday, and the markets are closed. So today in the U.S., you have the stock market is closed, the bond market is closed. The indices had a short session, which just ended the moment we started the webinar about 15 minutes ago. And tomorrow, back to normal trading. Okay. Now, gold. What about gold market? Eric is asking. The gold's been sitting at these levels really for quite a few days. Let's take a quick look. You could see here, right? This level, they were really sitting on right below the 50-day moving average here. And I have it marked here for a long time, the 2333 level. That's the level from which we made a recent all-time highs. And as you could see here, we came right back. A lot of actions around this level. See, we had a spike above it. We had another attempt above it. And now we have since the beginning of the week, we haven't even touched it, I think, unless yesterday we did. Let's see. Yesterday high was, yes, exactly, 233.33. So it's having a hard time moving higher, but at the same time, it's not really going down. So I guess we'll see it in the upcoming days with the more data coming in, more central bankers from the US speaking, and other things. Also, what's affecting the gold, as we discussed a few times, is the physical buying. Especially China has been buying a lot of physical gold. So it looks like, I mean, it's no brainer. It looks like there's an equal amount of buyers and sellers. So they're trying to see who's going to win. We're sitting right below the 2333 level. So I would watch this range of the candle that was from the 14th of June. I would watch the high of it, which was 2336.57, and the low 2301. So roughly we're between the 2300 and 2330, 2340, right between the 50 and 100 moving average. And right in the middle of this huge candle here, we had the sell-off that happened on the June 6th. Another thing, as you know, I mentioned a few times, we do have to watch the bonds, and the yields on the 10-year bonds are very, very important. I'm going to take a screenshot now. I'm going to try to show it to you where they are currently. You give me just 1 second. I'm going to try to take a screenshot to show it to you. For some reason, it's not letting me. So I'm just going to give you the number. The 10-year yields are down after making the high of 447 on the 10th of June. We're back at the base of 4.2, and that's the level of beginning of April. So that gives strength to gold. So if we're holding here, and if the yields go below 4.2, gold might have that move to the upside. And if the opposite happen, if yields are going to start climbing back to 430, 440, we were at the high of 463 on May 29th. I think this is where the gold, no, not here, okay, May 29th. Okay, it's not showing that. Okay, so if you are actively trading gold, it's worth watching the actions of the 10-year yields, okay? Beata is asking, when the silver is going to rise is so low, is silver correlate to gold or not? Definitely silver is correlate, sorry, I have an issue pronouncing that word, but as you could see here, similar situation. You see this is the crude oil, I apologize. Here we go. Silver is acting in a similar way. You see, it's been sitting at this level since this sell-off, and this sell-off happened on the same day, on June 7th, sell-off in silver, June 7th, sell-off in gold. There's correlation, definitely. Not precise correlation, because there were times where gold was acting weak and silver had a nice move to the upside, right? All these moves right here. And it is sitting above the 50-day moving average. So technically, it looks even stronger than gold. The only thing, it's not at the historical highs, that's for sure. And gold is. Okay, so your idea is right here. If gold decides to move higher, there's a big chance of silver following it and moving higher as well, and vice versa. So we should be watching the lows of this huge candle of 7th of June, and there's a possibility of breaking to the downside, and there's also a possibility of breaking it to the upside. But currently, we're really in a tight range here. Take a look. We have a number of days trading pretty much in the same level. And if you take gold, the same thing. We're pretty much trading on the same level, or closing at the same level for quite a few days, okay? Great question, Beata. Thank you. Guys, we're doing great. We're about 20 minutes into the webinar, and the mic is open. Please write your questions so we can continue, okay? Anyone? Again, if we don't have any questions, we're gonna have to say goodbye, which is also fine, and we'll meet again next week. So, but I prefer if you have more questions, so we can get more information out there. All right, let's give it 3 more seconds. Anyone? Going once? Going twice? I guess not. Okay, guys. Thank you for participating. I hope all of us will be more active next time. Thank you for your questions. Enjoy your evening. And tomorrow we're back to normal trading. Oh, Jeremy. All right. I guess we're going to cancel that goodbye, at least for now. Jeremy is asking about pound dollar, GBP USD. Okay. Like I said a few minutes ago, GBP USD, I think we discussed a few times. As you could see, if you minimize it, this channel is very visual here. 200 pips move, 200 pip distance between 126 and 128. It's been here for a long time. It was channeling here for a while before breaking lower. It was channeling here and starting back in end of November, and we've been sitting in this channel uh, until February. Then we broke down, came right back, went to the upside briefly for a few days, and then again, every time we come either to the top of the channel or to the bottom, there's a lot of activity happening here. So the same thing now. We are right in between 127. So if you're in between two serious levels, there's a chance to go either way. I mean, no brainer. Yeah, very genius of me saying it, right? So, like I said earlier, we had the inflation data from UK today early morning, and tomorrow's decision from Bank of England. So definitely it's going to be a move. Now, also, it could be already priced in. Definitely this pair, it's not just depending on pound, depends a lot on the US dollar. And US dollar, if you take a look at the index, it's been having a hard time breaking 105.5 here. So we're sitting right below 50-day moving average. So very strong influence tomorrow on that decision of Bank of England. If the rate cut happens, we might see move to the upside, and we would need to retest this 128 in order to try going higher. If sorry, the rate cut would be the opposite. I'm confusing myself a little bit. So the rate cut would push potentially pound down, and we would have 126 level retested, possibly. It's not going to happen. It could happen in an hour. It could happen in a few days. So nobody knows. And by the way, that level is currently also the 200 moving average here. So there is a possibility of coming and testing that. If there's no change, also there's going to be they'll be talking about the statement and everything. It's not just the decision. The same thing like with Powell, with the US Feds. It's not just decision of cutting or not cutting, or raising or not raising. It's actually the monetary policy. They talk about the actions and the possible actions and so on. So tomorrow definitely will be a move in pound and pound dollar, and I guess we'll find out which way. But the parameters are still the same. We have a support or immediate support at 126, and we have immediate resistance at 128, and we have right in the middle. Okay. Frederick, great question. What influence bond market? A lot of things. The interest rates is number one, and there are other things. You can learn about these things. It's a very interesting topic. It's a lot to do with interest, and as any instrument, bonds are tradable, and it's also supply and demand and other things. Okay. Beata, I missed your question. I'm going to go. I guess you're asking about DAX, right? It's actually DAX 40 now. You wrote 30, which is also fine. I think a while ago they added another 10 companies. So from DAX 30, it became DAX 40. Let's take a quick look. It's been selling, I know. Been showing weakness here since the highs. And today is selling as well. So we had the brand new high here on DAX, May 16th. Since then, we've been really zigzagging. And if you realize that, we've been making lower highs and lower lows. And there was a strong sell-off in the two consecutive sessions here last week on the 13th and 14th. And then it looks like we held this previous support. As you could see here, we did close on Friday below, but then with the beginning of the week, we bounced back up and we're trading here. So if DAX decides to go lower, we would be retesting these levels around 18,000. So that's 18,032, the low here before making new high. And we are right in between 50 and 100 moving average here. So today is the right day. You also, just to take into consideration the U.S. market is closed today. So tomorrow, when the U.S. market comes back, it's all global, so it's also a lot of correlation between the U.S. and European indices as well. So let's watch what's happening tomorrow. Good question. Where I can find penny crypto? You can find crypto markets. I'm not sure penny or not penny, but if you come here, this is the MT5 platform, or if you're using the web trader, you can just go into the asset. You go here to the symbols, and you look for cryptos right here, CFDs for cryptos, and you have the whole list of tradable cryptos here. Yeah. You can choose whatever fits your interest. There's a lot of crypto assets that we do offer. Not for everyone. Certain jurisdictions we cannot offer cryptocurrencies. One is the UK, and I think Canadian customers also are not allowed by the regulations. Okay, so you can look for that. Let's see. Thank you. First of all, I'm very happy that we canceled that goodbye process. Okay. Eric's saying, I was reading Bank of England rate cut won't happen till August. It could be. It could be. At the same time, it was about a few weeks ago, the deputy governor of Bank of England, he actually said that they're very happy with the inflation moving lower, and there's a huge chance of next meeting cutting the rate. So there's always few opinion, as I guess it's also not one person deciding it. We have the whole group of bankers with the FOMC in the US. I don't know what's the process in the UK, but everything is possible. You could be right. The August could be next, but with today's CPI data, I wouldn't cross out the possibility of the rate cuts tomorrow. Okay. Jeremy, thank you. Euro, dollar, and Aussie dollar. Guys, thank you for being active. You make me very happy. Okay. Euro, dollar. Before even looking into it, the 108 level has been a key level for a very long time. And take a look. We are just going to jump in a moment. It's a little late. Let's see. 619. So similar to the levels of the pound, euro dollar, it's been coming and going above and below 108 with the maybe 100 pips distance. So as you could see here, if you take the medium level, which the main level 108, a lot of moves initiated from here, like over here, like we stopped here, we broke below, we came back, showed support, showed resistance, broke up, broke down, and we have a distance of about 100, 150 pips below and above that level. So every time we come somewhere near 107, 106, the buyers come in, and the opposite happens when we come to 109, the sellers come in. Again, it's all about the dollar. The focus, it's been forever now with the Feds and cutting, not cutting. And as you know, the euro dollar is the most traded currency. And you can take a look at dollar index, and you can see how euro dollar is pretty much the mirror image of that. So we do have a few events happening, and euro dollar has been selling since the dollar regained the strength, but it is holding the support at the current levels here around 107. Every time we come back to 107, we bounce like we did here, like we did here. So it's really, I mean, in general, you never know what's happening in the markets, right? In this case, I guess we can just take one day at a time. And if you take the bounce of this candle on the 17th, so the immediate levels we can set for ourselves, which the low of this candle around 106, what was the low here? 106.86. That would be our immediate support in a way. It looks weak, as you know. We are below all three moving average here, 200, 100, and the 50. So if we decide to go higher, it's very simple. We will retest the 50. We might retest the 100, which is right at that key level 108. Just try to remember that 108 level. If you zoom out, a lot of action's been happening here. This is 108, right? A lot of actions, again here, 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 every time we come to that level. So it's kind of if you look at the map of the world, the equator, it's similar to what this 108 level represents here. And the same thing, the current level, as you could see, has been support many times. It was resistance here, it was resistance here, became support, support, resistance, support, 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 and we're back at that level. So it looks like the current level. Just zoom in again so we can see much better. See, as I said, the moment we hit a little bit below 107, we bounce right back, and 108. So similar, if you can see similarity as in the pound, we're right in between at 127, between 128, 126, exactly the same situation here. We are right in the middle of this area here between 107 and 108. We're currently exactly at the middle, 107.40, 107.50. So we need something strong to break above 108 again and go higher. And of course, for that, the major influence would be the Fed's decision to start cutting the rates. So that would weaken the US dollar and move the pair higher. But at the same time, the European Central Bank is also on the edge on doing the same action. So how is it going to work? Both of them are going to cut. So it's actually a great practical question. If both of them cut, that will cause the weakness of the dollar and the weakness of the euro. That means it's going to stay the same. It's a really good question that I don't have the answer to. Okay. Aussie dollar, good question. Aussie dollar has been trying. Let's just take a look at the weekly chart. We are trying to challenge this level here, that week of 12th of May. Let's mark it here with the horizontal line. The high of 167.13. And 67.13. Okay. So I jumped again. Okay. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be exact. So that's our recent resistance. We had few tails trying to challenge that. We are above the 100 moving average here. Now, if you remember, somebody asked the question about the oil and the China. I think Eric asked the question. That was the first question. So there's also a strong correlation between China and the two currencies, which is Australian and New Zealand dollar. Classical scenario, what's being affected by China is the four assets. You have copper, oil, and Australian and New Zealand dollars. Those two countries are doing a lot of export to China. So because of recent weakness of China, it's also affecting the Australian dollar in a negative way. So if China, the index starts moving higher, we might see actually this Aussie dollar breaking 0.6715, the recent high here, and moving higher. Okay, so that's Aussie dollar. Also, I think they just had also the interest rate decision, which they kept it unchanged, right? Okay. Any questions, guys? Any more questions? We still have time. We are at 37 minutes into the webinar, and I really appreciate that we revived the energy here. So we didn't have to say goodbye a while ago. We did address a few questions since then. Okay. Jeremy is saying, I'm sorry, did I miss your comment on the Bank of England interest rate decision tomorrow? What is the expectation? Jeremy, I was talking about it, and Eric said that he read something that they're looking to cut the rates in August, perhaps. I don't know if Eric read it before today's CPI number or after the number, but judging the latest number just came out today at 6 a.m. GMT, there's always a possibility that they could just surprise everyone and just cut the rates. So decisions coming in tomorrow. Okay. That's what I mentioned. Thank you for your question. Okay, guys, are we having more questions? I guess not. All right, thank you again. Thank you for participating. We should be back next week, God willing. I want to wish you a good evening. If anybody's watching the European football games, quite fun. Take care. All the best.